There, and notes on what a coupon for playing on betting on horses. Would you believe? I think maybe for next season I will. Is there a place I can do any bets on this? That would solve a lot of problems. Not that I want to get into gambling or anything, but in a sense, this is not gambling. It's just the way of the universe. Weather coming in from the Milky Way, weather caused by planets and the sun, the movements, weather not made on Earth. Weather is something that happens to Earth, something that passes through our solar system. Yo, I called it in April that this is what we would have: cold spring, a dry June. We would find rain coming back in July. There would be a big splosh of water in the start of August, and it would simmer down. And for instance, today, just as I record, we are still in somewhat of a small conjunction with Saturn, our way out there, so that makes it so that there are around 7 hurricanes out there and around in the Western Hemisphere, and that's perfectly natural. That is how at least the solar system, our galaxy works, and I think every other galaxy in our universe as well. So it's not really, it's not really guesswork. It can be a bit guesswork at times, but it's really not guesswork to figure out what storms are manipulated either. At times, which I also warned you that you would likely see this season. The one in Hawaii, in Maui, Lahaina, it was a big land grab. I don't know, billionaires working with military to make the Hawaiians, the locals, place heaven on earth, a living hell. Over 2,000 children gone, disappeared, God knows where. They call it forest fires, but forest fires don't melt cars while the tarmac is fine and the house right beside is dry, fine, and the forest behind is also pretty okay. Laser manipulation, that's a fact of life, unfortunately, and that is man-made. That is something that is man-made, but it would be very hard to get any politicians to talk about this realistically, because that would compromise their corruption. That's a sad state of affairs, if you ask me. Also, another manipulated storm was just a little bit over a week ago, Hurricane Hillary out in the Pacific. It came in head first against the the prevailing trade winds, and just worked itself up to the Baja and tried to reach San Diego, where the press already bought and paid for had ginned up this Hurricane Hillary that it could destroy San Diego. But by the time, because the prevailing conditions were not favoring such an intervention by man, the storm just simmered out and became a big old nothing burger, thankfully. But that was a really manipulated storm. It was the only hurricane in the entire Western Hemisphere. There was nothing to keep it going, so we should be thankful that these mill boys are so stupid that they don't understand how these things works, because yeah, that's a thing also. I mean, they they have the technology and they don't know how to use it. They keep it a secret. They wanted to keep it to themselves. I mean, all this could be used to should be used to better man's standing on this planet or in this solar system or in this galaxy or in this universe. But when the military goes against the people, it is the exact opposite that happens. We that makes us like an inferior. That 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 that's not good. That's what I'm saying. But I didn't want to get into politics. But I'm just saying that those at least those two storms, the incidents, they were man-made. That was not caused by you driving your SUV down the road. No, not caused by CO2, but by satellite lasers. So there you go. Tell that to your local politician if they are interested or have the capacity to understand such topics. It would be very good to find somebody that would truly politicians that would be a champion of the people. That would be great. That, that we won't win a landslide. Stick to the people and work for the people. Work for people's rights. Work for peace, prosperity. That people have their economic and financial independence. That they have that they are not tracked everywhere. That they can conduct their commerce as they want. As long as okay, some oversights need to be done so we don't find like the Epstein case. I mean, in the news they will rather talk about aliens than bring up the topic of Epstein. So it should give you some some perspective right there. Uh, I also, yeah, from other things I predicted way back in April that you didn't get on the news service. There will be plenty of insects this summer, and there has been. There's still. At the height of it, it was really bothersome. I had several times an hour. I had to just air out from my living room because flies and mosquitoes like this. Ooh. But the good thing also is, which I predicted, we at least in our part of the world, we should see bountiful harvests. And we have. Just my neighbor here, he has outside my house, he has mowed a third of the field, and he might not do the rest because just that third has produced more yield than record yield. He has plenty. He has more than enough, and that's a good thing. There's been other places where harvest has been good here in Norway, where due to that predicted forecasted weather rain that came in at the start of August has caused tremendous flooding, and even with the rains that came after, it just added. Even if it was not so much under normal circumstances, it would not be a big issue, but because the big initial splosh was so big, water has been added on water, and we have had severe flooding in many places. Our land was cut in half for some time because the only bridge around this thinnest part of our long country, they got swept away by the river, and also out in the lakes in the affected areas. The bales of hay are just yeah. It's very tragic for those to those that it happens to. A lot of this could, of course, have. Well, it's not. It wasn't a surprise Uh, Anyone who wanted could have been prepared for it if they had known. I at least, and I understand maybe this is a bit early in the process still. I understand that just my word saying that I found a way to predict reliably predict weather. Um, I understand that's it's bound to cause some skepticism, but I think now, if for you who have followed me maybe for some years, I still have pretty low numbers, but there's bound to be more than one or two that has scratched their head and hmm, how can how can why do I get this right all the time? As I say, it's no hocus pocus. You just have to have some connection with nature, and I've used many years uh, to develop this technique. It's not just something I pull out of my pocket and here it is. No, uh, that's a lot of years where I've just been working on myself, and of course not have a problem with people not fully believing me, but always a bit frustrated when they just don't take note, and when things come due, pretend like I never said it. That's always on a that's typical small-minded people. If I had met somebody, I mean that's what one of the things that got me in really got me into Makane was that I could verify. I could check myself and verify the veracity of the physics, and it okay, it works. It doesn't help that the professional weather services have nice suits and camera angles and lights and makeup and sound very boring and professional, because they don't base their predictions on actually modern weather commercial weather prediction, as we know it, actually has quite a lot in common with betting on horses, I should say, or just lottery numbers. What they call what they call science. Uh, you help me. Tell me here now. How is this science when you have a some very big, very expensive mega computers to which whom are fed all kinds of known weather data from throughout history, and uh, based on what satellite images feed the current satellite images are being fed to the computer. It combines that with what is known. Okay, with that cloud is over there, that means there's gonna be a cloud over there, because that's a statistical probability based on. Uh, it's not based on. It doesn't leave you with any predictive capability more than maybe a few hours out. Often not even that, I tell you, because weather is not made on this planet. The CO2 thing is, as I said so many times, is just a big ruse. It's there to fleece people, and it's very unfortunate that the industries have been so compliant with this BS. It's very unfortunate that politicians don't have intellectual capacity to question what they are being fed. And it's also a very big, the biggest problem is, of course due to corruption, that these politicians are career politicians. They are there mainly because they are corrupt. That is that's their modus operandi. So they decide to become politicians because they figure that's a easier way to have control over uh, and decide and get rich instead of actually doing something useful, like doing something useful for the people, like representing the people, representing the views of the people, and enabling the people to continue to live their lives as they wish, as far as that is possible, without infringing on the rights of others. Today it's uh, oh, I could take this so far, but sometimes I just start rambling, and it really it's um, maybe one day when I will talk about music, I can go into that. But it should be the content of your character, not the color of your skin that counts, or what noun you're prefixing to your sex. Um, it should be. Do you have a double X chromosomes, or is it a YX? Because those are the only two combinations that exist, and those are the only two combinations that we know about that create life. All other nouns, prefixes, L, B, G, T, Q. Now also they want to add the letter P for pedophile. God, that's gonna make a vengeful God when we don't when we start to when we cannot when we don't leave the children alone like this. That's and that's by design. If I won't go into that here and now. That's something. That's a totally different discussion. But I assure you, all those colors, all those prefixes, it could be reduced to just one, and that would be uh, no. It's for some other time. I'll save you for it. But for now, that is the weather that was. We're moving into September. Uh, I remember in April I said that there might be a big splosh of rain coming in from around the 8th. Mind you, me predicting summer weather is still something I'm not entirely comfortable with yet. I'm just very good at it. At seeing it, I'm very good at interpreting what I'm seeing. That's what made it so precise. It's not that I have done it very long, and I also know that from April to September that there's like 6 months between. Things might have changed somewhat, but from what I saw then, that we could possibly get some extra rains there in the middle of September. But it shouldn't be a big deal, really. And there's also a very good likelihood that September, first and foremost, will be just a very nice late summer month, actually. Don't worry too much about fall yet, though it is coming. And I'm very glad I can see when it's now it's very overcast there, but um, the Milky Way is visible again on the night sky, and that's good. That means I can start to prepare the winter forecast, and that's still at least 6 weeks into the future, I think. Mind you, it will be a winter this year also, without going into too much detail as of yet. It will indeed be a winter this time also, and it will look nothing like global warming or climate change. It will just be a winter, another winter not entirely like the last, and probably nothing like the one to come. Because that's it's something else. But for now, I hope this feeds you well. I'm gonna cut it out here. So yeah, there the results are in.